Music has been used as a healing art since ancient times. Within the last 60 years, however, a growing body of research about the effectiveness of music therapy has given the work of music therapists wider acceptance within the scientific community. The American Music Therapy Association describes music therapy as an established healthcare profession that uses music to address physical, emotional, cognitive, and social needs of people of all ages. For over 20 years, the Music Conservatory of Westchester's Music Therapy Institute has been the largest provider of music therapy services in the Lower Hudson region. The more than 2,000 people that the Institute serves each year reflect the wide range of people that find healing in music therapy, from toddlers challenged by autism to seniors suffering from Alzheimer's disease. With a grant from Westchester County government through ArtsWestchester, therapist Angeline Brown conducted residencies at teacher Mara Haggerty's life skills class at Yorktown High School and Mohansick Elementary School.
Some of the kids will stand out as having particular trouble with either impulse control, difficulty following directions, whereas another child will have trouble speaking in the group. Another child might have trouble, with physically holding the instruments, while somebody else won't. The wonderful thing about music is that I could do present a music activity or improvise a music activity, and every kid can participate on their level. Is about interacting. I'll encourage them to perform for each other.
They're much more confident and comfortable performing in front of their friends. It's so nice when they're just so encouraging to each other.
They know our time is special. They very much look forward to it.
For the youngest learners, music therapy fosters language skills as well as nonverbal communication. In the adolescent years, the therapy is also effective in fostering social interaction and pre-vocational aptitudes.
I think this is important because these are skills that they're going to need to use when they go out into the world, regardless of whether they have full-time jobs or part-time jobs or are in group homes. This is being able to interact, express their needs. Is very important for them and for the people they're working with and living with.
Many people who benefit from music therapy have autism spectrum disorders. Autistic children find it more difficult to use language or pay attention, and deficits in these areas significantly impair learning. Autism affects information processing in the brain by altering how nerve cells and their synapses connect and organize. Research has explained that music therapy is effective because it stimulates responses that are elemental to human physiology. From an evolutionary perspective, the response to music precedes the development of language. When we listen to a rhythm, our brain follows its pattern very carefully. This process is called entrainment. The phenomenon can be seen in everyday life when we are walking closely with somebody. As we walk together, our steps are synchronized, and it is very difficult to walk out of step. Dr. Mi-Jin Kim, a researcher at the Institute for Music and Neurologic Function at Beth Abraham Family Services in the Bronx, explains that the rhythms of music can cue our brains with commands such as music is starting, music is stopping. These cues can often form the kinds of neural connections that autistic people have difficulty with.
Neurologically, what's happening is that your neuronal activity, your neuronal assembly start to synchronize with the external rhythmic temporal stimuli, and then what that also entails is to organize your modal rhythm, where you can then first you attend to the rhythmic stimuli, but then you can entrain to the external stimuli. Your whole body's motor system can entrain to the external and temporal rhythmic stimuli.
These new pathways and connections can then facilitate an easier use of language, motor skills, or other functions. Researchers at the Institute for Music and Neurologic Function have been investigating the impact of music therapy on an often overlooked aspect of treating people with developmental disorders: depression. Depression is antithetical to the motivation needed to undergo any kind of sustained therapy. And music, a naturally fun and motivating activity, seems to help in that area as well.
It's such a crucial thing for them to be able to be in certain motivated state and keep their hope. So music therapy receiving patients drop their depression markedly compared to the social visitation group or the control group, which indicates really a lot about the effectiveness of music therapy on mood.
Nina Guerrero at the Nordhoff Robbins Center for Music Therapy at New York University adds that as music stimulates many different regions of the brain, it can address a wide range of challenges.
Sometimes it's really helpful to have case studies that go in qualitative depth on the process of music therapy and the different ways that clients respond to this intervention over time.
Back at the Music Conservatory of Westchester in White Plains, students who have been involved in one-on-one sessions with the Institute therapist held their annual spring concert to demonstrate their progress. The self-esteem students gained from their sessions and culminating concert is palpable. Despite a growing awareness of music therapy, many parents of developmentally disabled children discover it as an option only after trying many other avenues. Shortly after adopting her daughter Sarah from Cambodia, Susan Petrilli noticed Sarah had communication deficits.
12 years ago, I adopted a child from Cambodia, a little girl, and when I went to get her and bring her home, she was 8 months old, and she weighed 10 pounds, and she had pneumonia, and she was a pretty sick little girl, and she did so well when she came home. She ate well, she slept well, and she grew well. And unfortunately, she had some learning disabilities, most likely due to the malnutrition that she had when she was very young. And as she got older, she was diagnosed with auditory processing issues and with ADHD, and her learning was difficult. And we've tried several different things to get her involved, ice skating and swimming, and anything that has to do with the group was very frustrating for her because she can't keep up. She doesn't process words as quickly and as easily as other kids. And her frustration level was growing. And I was trying to come up with something that would make her feel good about herself, that would make her feel that she could accomplish something. And she's always liked to sing. I spoke to Dr. Brescia, who was phenomenal, and she said, well, I think your daughter would do well in our music therapy program. It's one-on-one, and I think she would do well. So I brought Sarah, and she has blossomed.
Parent Tiva Ingracia reflects the relief that many parents find in discovering a treatment that her child responds to.
There's so much out there, and I think there's also a lot of false promises with certain things. I think that parents of children with special needs, we can be very vulnerable at times, and You know, you can either, and some people take advantage of that vulnerability, you know, putting stuff out there. But I think that, you know, you go into something hoping that this might be the one thing that'll make the difference. Like, you want to do it all. And I know for us, just from a financial standpoint, some families can't do it all. Some families can't really do anything. So when you find something and, you know, you kind of take what you have and you put it into that, and you kind of hope that, okay, well, maybe this will be the thing that makes the difference. Music was something that was, you know, it's something that can speak to anybody regardless of their ability to communicate.
It's all part of who we are in the community and who we value in the community. And if we really value including those people that are differently abled, there's amazing things that they can do if we open the doors for them to do it.
Therapists explain that normal educational goals can't apply in a music therapy setting.
Have a lot of tricks in your bag and don't think you know anything. I have been surprised over the last 24 years at what kids will absorb and what kids do, you know, are able to do. It's completely amazing to me. In that process of reconnecting in the ritual, change is taking place, and you know, I think from the very point of go, we close that door, we're in that room, and it's music, and I feel like we are all changed immediately as a result of it. It's me and you, and so what are we going to do together, and how are we going to create these next 30 minutes of time? So yes, I'm certainly looking at all the skills, you know, verbal skills, cognitive skills, movement, fine motor, gross motor. I'm looking at all of that, and in my mind, I'm thinking, two people are in this room, and if you choose, you know, as the child, if you choose to run to the other side of the room, or you know, never lock into my rhythm, or scream atonally, then you're choosing to be away. You're choosing to move away and not connect, and that's a choice. And so I've got to find a way to help them connect a little bit more.
These therapists will be the first to admit that they receive more rewards than the people they are helping.
The greatest reward is those moments. It's the moments of connecting with an individual. And also is that each person that we work with has something to teach us. So if you go in open, you're always going to learn.
She's doing opera. She is sitting down, going on YouTube and finding someone else who might sing it and listening to how they do in their interpretation of it. She's following the music. She is paying attention, and she is learning. And that's all I want for her. I want her to be able to feel good about accomplishing something, and this has certainly helped.